Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Muzammil. Today we're going to be talking about selection sort. Selection sort is a sorting algorithm which basically obviously sorts an unsorted array. And how it works is basically each iteration it will go through each element one by one and it will try to find the element with the lowest value, the minimum value, uh, the element with the minimum value. And when it does find that element with the minimum value, what it will do is it will basically place that element at the start, and it will basically keep on doing that. It will just repeat that each iteration until the entire array is sorted. Let me show you what that looks like visually. So obviously in green we represent the sorted array. In red it's the current minimum that the algorithm has found, and the yellow just represents the iteration. So it obviously starts with the first element, and for now that's our current minimum. And now we'll move on to next element. Obviously our next element is lower than our current minimum, so that's gonna be our current minimum now. And it's gonna iterate to the next element again, and obviously uh, that's not smaller than than our current minimum, so it's gonna continue its iteration. And over here we can see one is smaller than our current minimum, which is 2. So 1 is gonna be our new current minimum. Now it's gonna move on to 7. Obviously 7 is not smaller than 1, and then 6. And yeah, and the iteration has ended. Now the current minimum that we have right now is 1, and it will be placed at the start. Now for the next iteration, it will start from by the way, it does not iterate through the sorted array. It starts after the sorted array. So it starts from 9, that's our current minimum. Then it's gonna look at 2, that's gonna be our current minimum. It's gonna look at 5, no. 7's not gonna be our current minimum. 6, no. So in this iteration, our current minimum was 2. So it will be placed at the start. It's gonna repeat that again. 9 is gonna be first, then 5. Obviously, 5 is gonna be our current minimum, then 7, then 6, and then yeah, we're left with 5. So it's gonna be placed at the start. And yeah, it will just keep on doing this until the entire array is sorted. So we have a unsorted array over here, which we need to sort. So we're gonna start by defining a function called selection, and we're gonna pass an array that is to be sorted as an argument. Uh, we're gonna run a loop, and this loop will basically run the same amount of times that there are the number of elements in our array. And we're gonna set the current minimum to I. So whatever our uh, I is, that's gonna be the initial current minimum. So let's if the our loop starts with from 9, uh, and the index of 9 is 0. So the current I'll just write this as current minimum index. So that's gonna be 0. Then we're gonna run a second loop, which is basically it's gonna start from I plus 1. So if it's like I is 0, if I is this, the second loop is gonna start from here, from the second element. And let's say if I is this, then it's gonna start from here. And it's also gonna go till the length of our array. Uh, if the array is less than, if the array whatever, if the array with the index of a second loop or index of j is less than the array with the current minimum index, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the current minimum index to j. Let me elaborate what is happening over here. We started the loop, we set whatever our initial element was as the current minimum index, and then we started the second loop. The second loop starts from one more than the last element. So like if the first loop started from here, the second one is gonna start from here. right? And this loop is gonna run, and if it finds an element which is smaller than the element which is at our current minimum index, then it's gonna change the current minimum index to whatever the index of that smaller variable is, right? And it's gonna keep on doing that, and after this loop ends, the second loop ends, we will have our element with the we will have the index of the element which has the minimum value. So what we're gonna do with that minimum value is we are going to swap we're going to swap the element which is at the initial, which is at the starting of our first loop, with with the we're gonna swap it with the element which has a current minimum index. So our current minimum index would be AR1. So if I return the array and if I print it, let's see what that looks like. So over here we can see that this was our unsorted array, and now that array has been sorted, and this is the code.